Welcome to a presentation by Amit Kumar Prasad from JNV Manpur. Note, this is a short explanation of Chapter 4 from Beehive Book of Class 9th. So let's begin. Chapter 3 The Little Girl by Catherine Mansfield. Before we start, do you feel you know your parents better now than when you were much younger? Perhaps you now understand the reasons for some of their actions that used to upset you earlier. So, this is a story about a little girl whose feelings for her father changed from fear to understanding will probably find an echo in every home. Story. The Little Girl is the story of a little girl, Kezia, who misunderstands her father's strictness and usually remains scared of him. Every morning, before going to work, the father gives Kezia a casual kiss. In reply, she says, "Goodbye, father." But the little girl Kezia is unable to understand her father's love and affection. When her father leaves home for work, she feels a sense of relief. Custom animation of Kezia fathers is going to work. During evening, when her father returns home, her father's loud noise frightened her. She hears him ordering her mother and grandmother, "Bring me tea, newspaper, and slippers." Then Kezia's mother asks her to come down and remove her father's boots. As Kezia enters into the drawing room, her father looks at her over his spectacles. The way he looks at her over his spectacles, the way he looks at her terrifies her. In fear, she stammers and replies, "I don't know, father." He tells her, "You don't know? If you stammer like that, mother will have to take you to the doctor." Father feels that something is wrong with Kezia. He tells his mother to teach Kezia to behave in a better manner that Kezia may not appear sad all the time. Whenever Kezia thinks about her father, she feels that she is thinking about a giant. She visualizes her father as a giant, especially when he yawns. Mother sends her into the drawing room to spend time with her parents. When Kezia enters the drawing room, she finds her mother busy in reading and her father sleeping. Kezia feels a bit neglected. One day she remains indoor as she gets a cold. Her grandmother advises her, "Why don't you make a gift for your father's birthday next week?" She gives her a piece of yellow silk fabric to stitch a pincushion for him. Kezia stitches a beautiful pincushion, but she does not find anything for stuffing. As her grandmother is out in the garden, she goes to her mother's bedroom in search of some stuff. There she finds sheets of paper in which her father had written an important speech. She unknowingly tears them into pieces and stuffs into the cushion and stitches it. When her father comes home and gets to know about his important papers, he punishes her by hitting the palms of Kezia's hand with a ruler for tearing up his speech. This incident further alienates Kezia from her father. She often watches her neighbor Mr. MacDonald playing joyously with his 5 children in their lawn. She thinks Mr. MacDonald is a loving father to his children. Kezia wonders he might be a different sort of father. One day her mother falls ill and is taken to a hospital by her grandmother. Kezia is left alone at home under the care of their cook, Alice. As Kezia goes to bed, Alice removes her socks and warns her, "Do not scream and wake your father." At night, Kezia has a nightmare and she wakes up screaming. When she calls her grandmother for help, she finds her father standing by her beside. He picks her up and takes her to his room. He tucks her up in his bed and soon falls asleep. She feels the beating of her father's loving heart and realizes that her poor big father is a very loving and caring and has a generous heart. The end. Thank you. If I had done any mistake, so please forgive me. By Amit Kumar Prasad.